Hello and welcome. Today we are finally testing Mungyo Gallery oil pastels. My very first impression when I picked these up is that they're pretty heavy, heavier than I was expecting. I am so excited to try these. I've been waiting for them to get here for about a month. There was a hiccup with the shipping. I mean, they're here now, so that's all that matters. Looking over the colors initially, I was really pleased with the colors that came with it. I feel like there's a good variety between all of the colors, and no colors are too similar where you're not going to use one. You know what I mean? So let's get to know these oil pastels. First of all, they smudge really well with just your finger, which honestly I wasn't really expecting, so that's kind of a pleasant surprise. And when these get layered on top of each other, they are smooth as butter. So these oil pastels are soft oil pastels, and initially I wasn't really sure what to expect with that name, soft oil pastels. How could it really be that different from just the Pentel oil pastels that I'm used to? And the thing that I noticed with this first sketch is that the oil pastels aren't crumbly at all. They're pretty consistently smooth as you use them. And honestly, I think that I got a little bit lucky with this first picture that I'm drawing because I didn't really have any problems here, and I felt really confident, maybe overly confident going into the second one, because the first one was just a breeze. It was so easy to use the colors. I don't have that easy of a time on sketches 2 and 3. So this page, I'm really just testing out what they're capable of and what I'm capable of with them. I noticed that they're so creamy and blendable that they pretty much always want to blend. So if you're wanting to go lighter in an area that's already dark, if you try to just add a lighter color on top, nope, that's not gonna happen. It will try to blend constantly. So if you scrape away the color underneath it and then reapply your light color, you'll have better luck. Now I gotta be honest, that bird turned out way better than I thought it was going to. It's like the cutest bird I've ever drawn. So when I came into the second one, I was thinking, oh, I'm just like magical today. Everything that I draw is just gonna turn out magical. And I got a pretty severe reality check on the second one. It's a tiger, and I picked orange because I wanted to try out all of the colors just to kind of see the range of colors that come in this box, you know? So I picked up orange. Orange is terrifying. It's a terrifying color, and I was so overwhelmed by the orange aspect of it that the only thing that I could think of to draw was a tiger. It's my son's favorite animal, and by golly, it's my son's favorite sketch on this whole spread. And he's a little bit particular about what the tigers look like that he's looking at. So if it looked really bad, he would have told me. So I worked really hard on these eyes, trying to get them to look good. And I will tell you that this head actually ends up looking really good. I love how the white turns out on the head. I think it just somehow turns out looking fuzzy. And that's really what the goal is for tigers, is to make them look fuzzy and cute. Not menacing at all, right? But I knew that as soon as I put the black down, there was no going back. So I had to be pretty sure about how everything was looking. But oh my goodness, this black is insanely pigmented. Every time that I used it, it went on reliably black, and it didn't try to blend with the stuff underneath it unless you wanted it to, in which case you would have to pick a lighter color and use that lighter color to blend out the black. But since these oil pastels do smear really well, it made getting the fur texture pretty effortless. Now I feel like I am so confident and so ready to try something kind of complicated. Colorfully complicated. So more than just like 2 colors. So I wanted to try out how it would be to blend multiple colors all in one thing, and why not do a face? So initially I went in trying to make this like a baby face. It does not turn out to be a baby face. It turns into like some kind of a grandma, and that's okay. She turns out really sweet looking, and it was just a bit of a process to get there. The thing that I learned the most with this sketch was if you are wanting to blend and have like a good gradient going on, you're gonna want to start with your darkest color and then use a lighter color on top or like around it to smooth it into the lighter color. So with the first two, I was using mainly one color with like a little bit of accents with other things, but this one I wanted to implement multiple colors and see how I wanted to use them going forward with the knowledge that I was gaining here. And it's actually really funny because as I was drawing this one, I immediately wanted to take it all away and draw a portrait in black and white. So much for colorful, right? So I end up doing the first portrait that I actually give it like a real shot at is a black and white portrait, and it's Snape, and it turns out awesome. It's like the coolest thing that I've drawn. I don't know, I feel like I always say that, but it's really cool and I'm so proud of it. So yeah, it's the first one that I do on the other page, but for now, I'm working on this girl. Honestly, she was starting to drive me crazy, but I did learn some valuable information. She really helped me to understand that these oil pastels are blendy. If they had one word that would describe them, it would be blendy. So I really needed to try and take what I have learned from all three of these things and try to apply it into a fourth one and try to lean into everything that I've learned. Initially, I was thinking it would be some kind of an underwater creature swimming downwards, and then it, like that thing was supposed to be a flipper. It turns into a bunny with an ear, and it's pretty much the cutest thing next to the bird. These two things together are like, the best cute things ever. So if we could just like crop off the bottom part of this spread, yep, I'm totally good with that. But I wanted to draw the front half of this bunny creature because initially it was going to be an underwater creature, so I was thinking that it was going to have like a flipper in the back or like a tail, I guess is what it's called. You know, one of the shark tails or something. So yeah, I ended up changing it and having it be like bunny legs, and then it had this line right here, so I just decided to give it a tail also, but kind of like an otterish type tail. It's totally a mythical creature, and yeah, this one was a lot of fun to draw because I realize now that I didn't go too crazy with the colors again. And I leaned into the blendy aspect, which is what I have learned this whole time. It's also really funny looking back on this because at the time I wasn't intentionally trying to draw a bunch of animals, but yeah, it's just funny how your mind kind of just goes in a direction and then you just kind of run with it. Yeah, this one was a lot of fun, I'll say. It also helped that I didn't do this fourth one on the same day as the first three. After that third one, I don't know, I think I was starting to feel a little bit discouraged because I feel like sometimes the things that I'm thinking of are they don't come out as cool as I want them to, even though this was supposed to be a learning experiment, so I shouldn't be too hard on myself. You know, I'm still hard on myself. Now I am ready to try the black and white Snape picture. I knew that I wanted to do black and white, so I kind of just went on Pinterest and scrolled through some faces and picked one that had really good lighting, and honestly, the moodiness of this one really struck me. It definitely evoked some feelings, so I had to draw it. I knew that if I were to go lightest to darkest, which was my plan, if I ended up going too dark on the areas that I needed to go lighter, if I scraped it away, it would never scrape away because whatever color you lay down first on the paper is the color that's going to show on the paper when you scrape it away. So I wanted to lay down white on the areas that were going to be the lightest so that if I did need to scrape away the colors, it would be white underneath. And it was honestly really helpful that I did that because I did have to pull out that trick a couple times in the nose and the upper eye, or the eyelid area for his left eye. This is honestly one of the most fun things that I have done in a really long time. I really enjoy working with charcoal because it's mostly working with like values and lights and darks, and you don't have to really focus on any colors or anything like that. Oh, by the way, I realized that his chin was too long. So I tried scraping it away, and that was the part that I was kind of talking about, is when you scrape it away, it doesn't really scrape away. So I'll have to cover that with something, and it's not like a problem. So anyway, what was I saying? Charcoal. So I really like working with charcoal because I like working with the values, and this just kind of brought back that same excitement that I used to feel for charcoal, and it makes me actually kind of want to do charcoal again. But for some reason, I'm kind of fearful of charcoal. I love it so much, but I realize after not working with charcoal for so long that values are actually something that I still need to work on a lot. I don't know. It's like when you open the doors to other things, you realize where you're lacking in certain aspects, and charcoal is like pretty much value heavy. So yeah, if you want to be successful with charcoal, you have to be comfortable with having your shadows be really dark. So I think that once I get to the point where I feel comfortable having shadows be really dark as they actually are or need to be, then I will start to test out the waters of charcoal a little bit more. So at this point of the drawing, I realized that I wasn't seeing the values as accurately as they should have been. So I was adding in the darkest value for his hair so that I could appropriately gauge how dark some of the spots in his face needed to go to either match or just be a little bit lighter than the hair. So I was kind of using the hair as like a reference point for how dark things needed to be. Doing this eye was a struggle of like personal it was a personal control struggle. I was trying to find the balance between having it be detailed, but then I also at the same time wanted it to be like fading into the shadows, so it was kind of like it is in the picture where you don't see the details, but then I was like, no, I have to add details, but no, I shouldn't. I need it to be dark. So finding the right balance between having shadows and having details, that's what I really struggle with. Also, I want you to remember how the face is now. Foreshadowing. I remember at this moment, I was looking, it looks a little bit different in person than it does on the camera. And on the camera, it looks really good. And in person, I was getting really frustrated with the waxy texture that was happening on like the upper layers of the dark stuff. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I was getting really frustrated at that. So I didn't want that waxy texture. So I decided to smooth it all out and make it really blendy. And looking back, I wish that I left it more, I don't know what the word is, abstract, maybe textured, and less blendy and perfect. I think that I lost something when I blended it out too much. Anyway, so let's move on to the second head. After having been doing black and white, I decided for this one that I really wanted to go for super colorful. So I picked a reference photo that would make it really easy for me to see colors that maybe are hiding. And for me and the way that my brain works, it's easier for me to see colors in very bright pictures. So that was my main reason for wanting to pick this one. Also, it was really helpful that she was looking the opposite direction. It was just like two peas in a pod, Snape and her. I don't know her name. I don't know. I don't know why I had to say that. Anyway, so yeah, I started out blocking the colors as I usually do with oil pastels. And yeah, she turns out really awesome. And I blended it out with white because for some reason that's just the only thing that makes sense in my head, and it gives me the results that I kind of enjoy. And I'll tell you right now that I love how her face turns out until I add the hair. The problem is that I added her hair very realistic and the value is very dark. So when I added the dark in contrast to the very light, colorful face, the dark kind of overpowered the face and kind of made the face seem less colorful, which is a bit of a bummer. So I ended up having to go back to the face and reintroduce a lot of the colors, which isn't a problem. It's just a matter of feeling frustrated and just having to go back and kind of do some double working. And I think that a lot of that would maybe not happen, and I wouldn't have to double work some areas if I didn't blend it out with white, but I don't know how to not do that. So maybe I'll get to the point where I don't have to do that, but I don't know. For me, I kind of just use it as like a base layer and then kind of work from there. So definitely I think the problem that I was having was the juxtaposition between the unrealistic face and the realistic hair. If I went colorful with her face, the hair needed to match. So I went real with the hair, and then at the very end, I do introduce some colors and have it be more vibrant like her face is. Also for her cheek, the one that's closest to Snape, the only colors that I could see were pinks and purples. And it started to look a little bit like a bruise instead of blushy cheeks. So I kind of struggled. I think I actually came back the next day to finish up and like alter some of the colors so that the pinks and purples wouldn't be so in your face, or at least maybe introduce some other colors next to it so that it doesn't look like a bruise. Anyway, it also helped to go back and kind of add in some deeper colors to the face, and then also some more vibrant colors to the hair so that the face and the hair, like the two different worlds, could kind of mix a little bit. I will tell you that these oil pastels, if you get it like on your finger and you smudge it everywhere, it does erase pretty well. So this is how the spread turned out. I think that it turned out really cool and they were really fun to use. So ultimately, I'm really, really impressed with these oil pastels, and I will for sure be using them more. And I gotta tell you, I didn't break one. Zero. Zero of them broke, and I'm so happy about that. Thank you so much for coming along, and I will see you in the next one. Toodaloo.